Operators running enrichment programs say they are seeing a surge with enrollments doubling this June holidays. They say it's due to a mix of tighter travel budgets and ensuring their children are exposed to a variety of experiences. Now, some are even starting young with classes from robotics to public speaking. Chloe Teo reports.
It's an early Saturday morning during the June school holidays, but instead of sleeping in, these students are already hard at work. Around 71 students are enrolled in holiday classes similar to this one. They'll learn how to build, code, and move these robots. Some of the students I spoke to here say they're happy to spend their holidays in such classes, as they feel that it's more of a hobby.
I don't feel very pressurized because robotics is a hobby. In fact, I also requested to come pursue robotics. It's a little bit stressful because my schedule is already quite packed as I have multiple tuition classes, and then I also have extra classes that I have to go to school. But overall, I think after these 3 months, after PSLE and prelims are over, then I would feel a little bit less stressful.
The School of Robotics says they've seen more than triple the enrollment this June holidays compared to last year. More than half of the slots in its Bukit Timah outlet were already snapped up in the second week of May. The school attributes the demand to a variety of factors.
Last year was the travel revenge, where most of the parents, decided to travel throughout the whole entire season. And then this year probably is a travel fatigue, where parents have certain budget constraints already planned out.
And it's not just the older kids getting in on the action. Another education provider that offers holiday programs in preschools has seen a similar jump in enrollment. Close to 500 students from the ages of 3 to 6 have signed up for robotics and public speaking classes, about double the number from last June.
The schools themselves are more keen to offer holiday programs because they see it as a value-added service for parents. They want to expose their children to different experiences and activities. Secondly, the parents themselves, it's convenient for them, because our programs are offered in preschools during school hours. So for the parents, they don't have to ferry their children to and fro to different centres over the weekends.
Ms. Leong says her main priority is to ensure the kids are having fun while learning, because it's never too early to start picking up skills needed in school and beyond.
And for more analysis, I'm now joined by Jason Tan. He is Associate Professor of Policy, Curriculum and Leadership at the National Institute of Education. Professor Tan, welcome to Singapore Tonight.
Thank you.
So, first of all, what are the key factors that are driving this growing demand for enrichment programs, especially for preschoolers?
One factor is probably the fact that these enrichment programs are ubiquitous. They are available not only in mainstream schools, but also in privately run enrichment centers and tutorial schools, in self-help groups. They are also available at community centers and organizations such as the Science Center. A second point would be that all of these enrichment programs hold out the promise of being fun and enjoyable, and also the provision of valuable learning experiences which cover not only, for instance, thinking skills, but also creativity and also social and emotional skills, such as teamwork, being able to work together with others. And of course, if we look at the wider backdrop, the Ministry of Education for the past few decades has been pushing very strongly this idea of holistic development rather than an obsession with academic grades.
So earlier you were talking about, these courses, they can be fun, they can be enjoyable, right? But I'm thinking, are they truly necessary at such a young age?
Well, for some parents, I think that they are choosing programs such as Chinese language or English language so that their children can be adequately prepared for primary school and the literacy demands that primary school will have in store for their children. Of course, there's this natural parental anxiety to make sure that their children stay competitive and not fall too far behind, especially in the case of preschoolers.
So earlier you were talking about how MOE is shifting away from this overemphasis on academic results, more towards holistic development, right? So yes, are parents turning to enrichment programs to perhaps fill that perceived gap, or perhaps even to stay competitive? What does this tell us about parental expectations?
It's become increasingly clear that schooling isn't all there is to education. It's not all about the core academic subjects. There's a whole variety of learning experiences out there. And that's what the term enrichment suggests. It talks about adding something else to mainstream schooling experiences in order to enhance the quality of children's educational experiences. So that's what we're seeing here, a whole variety of all sorts of areas that are being offered, such as sports, aesthetics, science and mathematics, and even speech and drama.
I'm thinking, though, how might this early push towards enrichment shape a child's long-term attitude towards learning and play?
Well, ideally, these programs should be fun and enjoyable and set students on the road to this attitude that learning is enjoyable and it's taking place not only in school, and thirdly, that learning is for life. In other words, there's a lot to be learned once I've left school.
Okay, so as we know, MOE is already offering the applied learning program for older kids in areas like speech, drama, and tech. So if these programs are already in place, why do we need external providers?
A couple of reasons, probably. One being that the child's school may not offer a particular kind of program that parents are looking for. Secondly, the child's school may not offer that particular enrichment program for students in the level that the child is studying in at that point in time. And of course, it's not really possible for us to expect every mainstream school to be offering such a huge range of enrichment programs because there are very real constraints in schools.
Some parents may wonder if these additional enrichment programs will add stress to their children or even perpetuate inequality. What do you think are the broader implications of layering these courses on top of regular schooling?
You've correctly pointed out, I think, two pressing concerns. The first being stress, because students are already having to juggle their schoolwork with their co-curricular activities and in many cases private tutoring as well. So I think both parents and students have to be very careful that these enrichment programs don't turn out to be added sources of stress. Because as I said just now, enrichment is meant to increase the quality of your educational experiences. And it's not meant to add extra stress, which will detract, of course, from your educational experience. The second issue of equity is a very real one. What about those students whose homes can't afford these out-of-school enrichment programs? And that's something I think that the schools have to be looking at seriously in order to promote an equitable and inclusive environment for students to take part in these activities.
Okay, Professor Tan, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us tonight. That was Associate Professor Jason Tan from NIE.